Yo, what is up, guys? It's me, Headshot Coasters, and today I'm bringing you the next roller coaster for Canada's Wonderland. Canada's Wonderland is a pretty good park. It's definitely gotten better within the past 10 years. It's had a little bit of rocky history, kind of like California's Great America, but it's gotten pretty good. So, anyways, today I'm going to be predicting what their next coaster could be. So, yeah, let's get right into it. So, here are my current next coaster videos for, series. So, this is my 16th, I believe. So, that's kind of cool, I guess. So, anyways, the park opened in 1981. Has been owned by Cedar Fair since 2006. Before that, it was owned by Paramount, and Paramount sold all 5 of their parks, including Canada's Wonderland. The park currently has 17 roller coasters, which is tied with Cedar Point. It covers 331 acres of land, which is pretty big, and it's located in Vaughan, Ontario, which is just outside of Toronto. So the last 5 coasters, 2019 they received Yukon Striker, their B&M dive coaster. That was a pretty well receptive ride from the public, or received ride, I don't know. 2014 they received Wonder Guardians Mountain, was like a 4D interactive shooting dark ride coaster. 2012 they received Leviathan, the park's best coaster, arguably. It's their B&M Giga. 2008 they received their B&M Hyper Behemoth, which is a pretty good ride. And in 2005 they received Backlot Stunt Coaster, which is just a premier family launch coaster. So the park's current coasters, there are a lot, so I'm going to go through this quickly. They have a B&M Giga with Leviathan, a B&M Hyper with Behemoth, a B&M Dive Coaster with Yukon Striker, a Vekoma Boomerang with Bat. As you can see, after those free B&M, the coaster quality kind of drops drastically. They have a Vekoma SLC with Flight Deck. They have a Zamperla Volaire, also known as the Zamperla Trash Coaster, Time Warp. They have a Vekoma Suspended Family Coaster with Silver Streak. They have a Premier Family Coaster with Backlot Sun Coaster. They have a Mack Wild Mouse with Fly, a Custom Aero Looper, which is Dragonfire, which is also pretty bad. They have a Taft Broadcasting Woody with Ghoster Coaster, a PTC Woody with Mighty Canadian Mindbuster, which is a pretty well-received ride in the park. They have a Mack Mine Train with Thunder Run, which looks decent. They have an E&F Miler Kitty Coaster with Taxi Jam. They have their 4D Dark Ride Coaster, Wonder Guardians Mountain. They have an Aero Suspending Coaster, which is Vortex. And they have a second PTC Woody, which is Wildebeest. So, you have 3 great B&Ms. And then you have Mighty Canadian Mindbuster, which is fine. Your 4D Dark Ride Coaster, which is kind of cool. You got a Mine Train, Wild Mouse. That's pretty much it for good rides at the park. And Backlot Sun Coaster. So, a lot of bad coasters. Also, their Aero Suspending Coaster is pretty good. But a lot of bad coasters. So, anyways, I think Canada's Wonderland's next coaster will be. So, I'm saying there's a 15% chance of them getting a Vekoma Flying Coaster. Originally, I was going to say B&M, but I kind of changed my mind. So, some of the pros, this is cheaper than a B&M coaster, okay? B&Ms are really expensive. Vekoma has been actually going pretty cheap lately. I'm sure they're going to start raising their prices soon. And, B&M right now, it's expensive. And also, on a side note, they haven't really made any flying coasters lately, and I don't think they will anytime soon. These are intense enough, but also great for families. They're flying coasters and they're launched, so it's scary, but it isn't the fastest ride. And also, they make for great theme coasters and train coasters, which the theming at Canada's Wonderland you could definitely work with, and terrain you could also work with a little bit, but not too much. Some of the cons, the park has Time Warp, their Zamperla Volaire, and even though that sucks, they probably won't remove it within the next few years. Also, Vekoma hasn't worked with Cedar Fair in forever. Since the early 2000s. And then also Nighthawk, which is kind of on the same line. Nighthawk, that's a pretty bad ride. Firehawk is good, but they obviously close it, so that must have had a reason. I'm sure Nighthawk's coming soon, so, they might have been upset. They might not want to give them another chance. So I'm saying a 25% chance with a B&M invert. Some of the pros, Cedar Fair loves B&M, Hypers, Gigas, dive coasters. They got a lot of Flores coasters back in the day, inverts back in the day, all that stuff. It's the biggest park in the chain without one. Other than King's Dominion, I guess, but I don't see Actually, I did see Kings Dominion getting one sometime soon. And also, I mean, it completes the B&M lineup. Like, yeah, they already have a great B&M lineup, but, B&M Hypers and Gigas are kind of similar, except just Gigas are taller and are more low to the ground. After the after the top part. But no, with a dive coaster and then inverted coaster, like if a B&M Flyer's not going to come in, I don't see a wing coaster coming to the park. Florida's coasters, B&M seems to be done with those, and stand-up coasters, maybe a surf coaster, but I don't know how that's going to end up. So yeah, this would really complete the B&M lineup at the park. Some of the cons though, flight decks at the park, which is the Vekoma SLC. Yeah, you could remove it, but like, I mean, even if you removed it, like, what are you gonna put there? You could probably fit a very, very small B&M invert in there. Not even like a full. You could probably fit part of a Batman ride in that. Also, these are really expensive. Like I said, coming off of COVID and stuff, that's gonna be a problem. And also, like I said, they take up a lot of space. Like, even the smaller models, they still take up a decent amount of space. So, like, the really small ones have really short layouts and, like, they aren't the best. So, like, yeah, I don't know. It just isn't. It probably wouldn't work out too well at the park. But my 60% chance is for a Mack Rides multi-launch. So, some of the pros, it's the first major launch coaster at the park. Yeah, you have back launch slime coaster. That's a family coaster. So, yeah. It completes. It's compact ride, and I know you're thinking, no, it's not. I mean, it sort of is, like basically, like, the park could do it in a way where, like, you have Icon at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, which, that park is very tight on space, but they somehow fit that in. So, I'm sure you could definitely fit it in some weird way. And also, Copperhead Strike was very successful at Carowinds, so, increased their attendance levels, so maybe it could do the same for Canada's Wonderland. Some of the cons, though. Their last coaster was a thrilling ride. I mean, Mack coasters tend to be on the tamer side, but still, this is if you want to be more intense con. It's like they're weaker than Intamins and even some Vekoma launch coasters. And, like, it's true. Mack is more geared for, like, parks that want less, more tame rides. Also, they don't have a ton of unique elements, some loops, inversions, all that, like airtime hills, bank turns, kind of the basics. I mean, if they added a few unique stuff, like if they added some things to like a non-inverting loop or stuff like that on this coaster, I think it would be good. But otherwise, it'd just be like another standard Mack launch coaster. So, anyways, what year will this happen? So with Yukon Striker, it opened in 2019, That's going to have the park, people coming back to the park for a few years, okay? So I think we'll see this open in 2024 based on the park's current rate of adding coasters. I mean, it's basically been 4 to 5 year gaps for the most part. So, like, I'm saying, 2019 to 2024, 5 years, and it'll be fine for the park. And I mean, like, yeah, sure, it's a little ways away, but you're adding nothing this year. 2022 is going to be an off year for almost every park. And then 2023, they'll probably just have, like, a flat ride or something. So, yeah, I mean, I think 2024 is a reasonable year. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Please click like and subscribe and comment down below on what do you think about my predictions. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.